Tere veel kord, kohtusime sinuga siin hommikul.
Andres, we met in the morning
Enne ministritki.
before the ministry, right?
Ja rääkisime, et tõesti selline suur online konverents
And spoke about the fact that we would have this big online conference today, and during the week your network is organizing the Entrepreneurship Week all over Estonia, and you can still register. So if you don't have a booking yet, then do so. And you have listened to quite many ideas in the course of the day. What stood out for you?
Kui me võtame kohe algusest, siis ju minister ütles,
like the minister said at the beginning of the day,
vaata seda probleemi, millist kliendi probleemi sa lahendad.
Look at which customer problem you want to solve. Is it a problem and how can you solve it? And are you able to solve it?
Aga kõigepealt ongi,
but first,
kas selle probleemi nii-öelda valideerimine või testimine,
validating or testing the problem, understanding the scale. Maybe you explain it to your friends and 10 friends said it is a problem, but if the market is those 10 friends, that's not enough. So you need to look for friendly customers and suspicious customers. You need to test the product, understand what the customer wants. And once you understand that there is a problem and you have a solution for it, then you take the next steps. And actually, company itself is a means. You have an idea, you want to implement it. Let's take the cleanup project. Let's do it. Do I need a company to make it happen? Do I need a non-profit or a calling on Facebook? What do I need? There are different platforms, media. There are many ways to reach your markets, your customers.
Sinu optimistlikust sõnavõtust siis võib niimoodi aru saada, et iga ideega võib tulla
does that mean that we can knock at your door with any idea, that you don't fund everyone, but it depends on the idea? Well, yes, if you tested something, then it's not going to probably bring back money tomorrow. You need to make investments. And in case of startups, it's always the case where to get the capital from. The start support has been allocated to 15,000, and the financing period measure ended in August, and the last applications are being looked through, but at the same time the Ministry of Economy and Communications is already thinking of the next support, and some will probably be 2 or 3 times higher. And so how do we make sure that the entrepreneurs, like we heard today, they have so many concerns. So how can the public sector make things faster, simpler, easier, make the launching easier? We know registration, that's fine, 15 minutes registered. But then where to get capital from? Do I look at my friends and family members who are the initial investors, then public sector, like the startup support? And you can start production, like we heard, 60% with the 15,000. So what about the 40%? I don't produce it, I cannot get started. So when we look at the price hike, cost hike, then we need to support the initial stage financially. And what else did we hear today? How to divide up the time and the tasks, obligations. Maybe you're doing it alone, but maybe there is somebody, a partner you can rely on. For example, in the county development centers, we have mentorship clubs. Meetings 5 or 6 times a year. There's a training part, and then there are experienced entrepreneurs from that county who you can ask questions from. How did you do that? Like today, you asked, how did you get started? But what about the kitchen? How many cutting boards should you have, and what is the health and safety side of it? So you have a million questions. Whatever your area of activity, and you find somebody who is experienced, you can lessen your own burden, and
teiste selliste alustajatega ka.
you can also speak to others who are just getting started. So that releases the emotional pressure a little bit. So the tandem is good. If one cannot cope well, then the other one can say, have a rest. I will do it myself this week. I can see that you're overworked. And you have family and kids, and no sleep, 4 or 5 nights.
Kuidas selle starditoetusega nüüd tänapäeval on?
What about the startup support right now? Because there was a period where the City of Tallinn and Enterprise Estonia gave the startup support only to those who were only really starting. But if you had a couple of small companies and you found a tandem partner and wanted to establish a new company, you didn't get the support because you already were engaged in business. But how is it now? If something in the past has not worked out, but now they have a new idea and a tandem partner, has this restriction been lifted? Well, the last period ended, the new one hasn't begun, so I don't know. But if we speak about it more broadly, then the reason was that if there's money somewhere, it will be snatched up. And to make sure that some people wouldn't start thinking that let's establish 3 companies and we get 45,000. So that is why there was this condition that if you have worked in the same field, then you cannot apply. But even from a different sector, yes, you could. We have freedom of entrepreneurship. You can establish as many companies you want. But if you want to use public sector and EU money, then there are certain restrictions. So this is the bureaucracy that the entrepreneur must work with, and we consult free of charge in every county. Come make an appointment and we can advise you. Are there also follow-up supports when you already have an idea, you've developed it up to a certain degree, but to expand your activities, to export, to jump to the next level, you need capital to establish an online platform or create more layers, and you cannot manually do this, and you don't have enough resources yourself. Are there measures for this? Yes. And I recommend turning to Enterprise Estonia and homepage, which is still EAS. About 8 years ago, or even before that, the allocation of support was that concern product or reply. But now the approach is that they take a look at the company, what the concerns are. The company has several concerns. They check several things, what you want to focus on, targets, how you will get there, and there are attempts to help the company on the journey. And it's more about support and advising. The investment part that everybody applied for years, that we need investments. Building houses and installing manufacturing equipment. And like Sumes Moody said, it's the most difficult part is the sale. If you don't understand the customer, if you don't have anyone to sell to, then there's no point. So we need to be smarter, and we need to be more productive. The productivity of Estonian companies is quite low, 85%. Under 85% of the EU average. How can we get over the threshold, raise productivity? There are different options. The digitalization in a small company when it comes to equipment is not purposeful. You don't have the volumes, and the equipment is so expensive, and you would be able to do only one thing, and you would have to sell huge quantities. But coming back to the beginning, on Enterprise Estonia webpage, you can find information on the follow-up support and contact our consultants. happy to hear it. The county development centers, and you have been managing it for years, and you probably have your own vision and understanding regarding what you do. Where would you place the county development centers in this framework of Enterprise Estonia, different support, trainings? What is your activity and mission about? We're on the grassroots level. Enterprise Estonia with its strategies has chosen a small number of companies, 145,000 enterprises. Then Enterprise Estonia is focusing on 1,000, and who focuses on the rest. And in the county development centers, we think about each county. The issue is how to make sure that the people stay and live here in Ida-Virumaa, Võrumaa, Saaremaa. What should they do to cope here? How to create jobs and how to make sure that they're happy? Nobody cares about the ministers speaking about growth of GDP. If people are unhappy. Finland and Denmark are at the top of the world when it comes to happiness, and Estonia is in the 30s. But there's a number of questions that need to be addressed. People leave counties to pull centers, Tallinn and Tartu, in order to get higher salaries and more opportunities. And that's where the market is, in Tallinn and Tartu. In Läänemaa Haapsalu, I have also managed the development center, and our consultant had a customer, two young men, who established their own company and said, we can start from home. And it turned out very quickly that the market is not at home, it's somewhere else. So you need to look at where your market is and move in that direction. But looking around in the world makes sense. You pick up the knowledge from the world and bring it back, and in this small place, like the pandemic showed, people looked for shelter. And in troublesome times, it's nice to have this shelter where you can heat up some water, use firewood under the stove. But we are thinking how to support life in smaller places. We support companies, but also city life, life in small settlements, non-profits, non-governmental organizations. We advise them, organize different events. And when it comes to NGOs, then we advise on 2,000 to 3,000 times a year. And we also measure the feedback. So about 10,000 consultations a year altogether. Well, yes, it might be also the same company coming back several times. So startup support, for example, we get so many applications, and these are revised with the consultants. And when we go where to get money from, then there are other places, the leader groups, that's to promote rural life. The Minister of Rural Affairs is handling this, and local leader groups. And you then have to work in the rural area. But it's not okay if you live in a town. But if you're in a village, you have an idea, you get started and ask funding from leader when there's no startup support. So you can combine different things, but you just need to have the information. And your consultant can help with that, exactly. Even in the sense of whether to establish a non-profit or a company.
istuvad, arutavad,
So you can discuss it with a consultant. Is it better to have a non-profit or is it a business? No, this is more of a business. You should establish a company.
Vabaühenduste konsultant sinna paika ja minnakse edasi siis juba
And then you can continue with the entrepreneurship consultant. And you don't need the non-profit consultant. And then you can discuss how to do business.
Mõtleme, et kuidas meie müügitoru siis on, tuleb see klient astub uksest sisse.
The customer walks in the door and we think how can we help them progress, not only with consultation, 7,000 to 8,000 occasions a year, but also trainings. A person who has not received training before can come to our training. 550 people a year complete our basic training, 1 or 2 trainings in every country at least, and you can also participate online. And earlier it was on site, it was physical, and if you're able to make it, then good. If not, then not. But now it's possible to complete it online. You have a young child, for example, you cannot leave home. Then on the homepage, arenduskeskused.ee, all the information is up, and then we move on to the operating companies. The person has launched their activities, they can join the mentoring club, can come back and speak to the consultant to go abroad or not. Some want to go abroad too early. The consultant says, no, it would be a waste of money. First you need to do these things, otherwise it will not give you a good result. So do your homework and then go. And so we also consult acting companies, and we have experienced consultants, and we also take entrepreneurs to foreign fairs. We have a group at Motec right now, and Alihangida fair in Finland last week. That's the subcontracting fair. Soon a similar fair will take place in Sweden. So, then they can see what is going on in the market, who they are competing with. If I want to find foreign partners, then what requirements do I need to correspond to, or gain ideas looking at what others are doing. So I need to reinvent myself in order to remain competitive. And the consultants have to do the same. So they have to reinvent themselves as well to stay a step ahead of the entrepreneurs. So when the entrepreneur comes to their question, then we have the answer, or we know where to get the answer from.
So it is actually an amazing resource which is accessible to everybody across Estonia, everybody who wants to start or is already engaged in business, so they can approach you, because all what you say, what is happening is actually incredible. It's all this know-how which is available, this is the resource that people can use. So you just need an enterprising person. And they also offer training sessions. So there is one of the things with the cooperation partners. If it's not the ministry funding, which we use for counseling, and we have fairs and startups, then we have the Minister of Finance. So, but from 2015 till today, it's about 17.5 million. Then Minister of Finance, corresponding funds which supports local region and entrepreneurship. So that was decided by every county themselves. That's about 15 million. So that's quite a big amount from 2015 till today. And these funds, we added Google training which are offered across Estonia for free. So last year, over 9,000 people participated, because the format is it's about an hour and a half, 1 hour of training of the Estonian top trainers of their field, and half an hour there is a question and answer sessions. And this is all available online. So through the development centers or through the workshop functions. So it's very interesting, and through the statistics, a lot of people said that they are small businesses. who are participating. So that means we bring in the funds of businesses with the sponsors, money we add to public sector funds. This is very good. There's a lot of new things. So we don't look at your website every day, but now maybe today we should. Maybe there'll be good training. And we have to start developing a small limited liability company because these resources already exist. We don't have to invent it ourselves. And Entrepreneurship Week is ongoing right now. This is very topical. You have to see where you have a possibility to attend. But if you're Northeast Estonia, you can go to the West Coast. So you just register to the training where there's location available. In Northeast, we have Russian language training. We have interpretation available today, but you can find also training in your language. And then we talked about businesses, we talked about NGOs, and now we circle back to young people. So there's a lot of activities for young people, different events. And we also look at what we can do in the future. So who are the people in the future who would bring us wealth? This is what we have to work with today. Let's look at the questions. So at the times are hard right now, does it actually make sense to start with the business? Yes, definitely. At any time, it makes sense to start with a business if you have a good idea. Now, finding a good idea can be sometimes very complicated because if you can't think of anything at all. Because here we have different creative methods how to come up with the idea and with whom, but it's often good to look around yourself. As Sume Smoothie said, that we wanted to have this product for ourselves, our own children. How can I get that? Does anybody have that? So this is something which makes sense to start. Why should you postpone? And of course, often we have our own fears, our own restrictions, we're in the comfort zone. We are afraid. But that means that you have to come and ask for advice. And you don't want to talk about it with your friends and family. It's a stupid idea. But go and talk to the consultant. It's like confession. It's a confession secret and nothing gets out. Yes, you can discuss your idea. And you can say, is it a good idea? And then somebody will say, no, it's a brilliant idea. Why didn't you get it going earlier? Let's take one more question. This is more specific. I don't really know what it means. Have you also talked about these startup requirements? Are they becoming more entrepreneur-friendly? We're working very hard on that because I'm part of this working group myself. So it's a very cute topic because this everybody's waiting for money because the process itself ended in August. We talk about increasing the amount. We want to see how to get this money accessible right now because right now the support means that you have to bear the costs and then you submit the document and get money. But if I don't have money, how can you bear the costs? So the idea is that we want to see that it is a start-up loan under certain conditions becomes a support payment. But because these are EU conditions and this is the complicated system, so you have to tick all the boxes and everything has to match up because then this is what we're working right now to make it easier because we want to reduce bureaucracy. And we want to send our greetings to all the accountings, to all the consultants and everybody else whose title I do not know, but you are working with Andres for the same purpose. And I would like to thank you as you have all watched us, you have been part of us, been able to get a lot of good ideas. I would like to thank all the guests today And in addition to the consultants who go and train people all throughout this week. So we want to make sure this will be an avalanche which will become bigger and bigger. Because as you said this morning, as one of the first things, we have a country which is enterprising. We are leaders per capita in the world. So we have a way to make progress. But it's good to live in Estonia, listening to all of this. And I would like to thank you for running all this, for the great job you do, and also that you reach young people, schools and kindergartens. So this is very good, and I would like to wish you all the success. But I would like to go back to the kindergarten as well, because if you get a good enterprising consultation, then it's possible. Maybe it also will be good for my mentality in general. Andres Huul, the member of the management board of the County Development Centres. Thank you all, and thank you for attending the Entrepreneurship Week. You can register for future meetings, and we'll meet again next year. And now we can create new companies, and let's be happy. Thank you.